Hello everyone, this is B. Harper from supermarcy.com and welcome back to another What a Marvel review. Today I'm going to very quickly talk about Captain America the Winter Soldier. The reason why I'm going to make this video brief is because myself, Marcy and Bede have previously done a super podcast and I will post the link to that down below. But listen, since I wanted to just go through the Marvel Phase movies as they are, I decided to, not skip over Captain America the Winter Soldier, because one, it's a damn good movie, two, I just like to take this opportunity to perhaps re-emphasize my own personal feelings about this film. So without further ado, here we go. So Captain America the Winter Soldier is pretty much diametrically different to Captain America the First Avenger in so many ways. The first one was essentially Captain America's rise and birth of being the paragon of all that is truth and mighty and just all round awesome. Captain America the Winter Soldier is the deconstruction of the character, because while the first film elevated him, Winter Soldier drags him down. Think of it this way. This is how superhero stories tend to be. Like, after a very meteoric rise and just glorious sort of period, there comes a time which a superhero will fall, and fall very hard. In this case, Captain America is dragged through the mud, kicked in the face, kicked in the kidneys, stomped on the ribcage, pushed down the stairs, his head gets flushed down the toilet, and his dog gets anally violated. But no, it doesn't. But that's generally more or less the feeling about what this film is about. The rise and the fall, both of which are inevitable in this case. What I really like about this movie, other than that, is how it tends to combine conspiracy fiction from the 1970s with a contemporary setting. I'm talking about stuff like 3 Days to Condor, stuff by John le Carré. I think it's John le Carré. I could be completely wrong in the pronunciation, so please forgive my noobishness. What else do we have? Most of the political conspiracy thrillers from the 1970s have been a chief inspiration for Captain America Winter Soldier, and you can see it in the plot, you can see it in the characters, you can see it in the way that the movie is filmed, like very claustrophobic, very fast-paced, and just incredibly tense when most scenes just tend to be where nothing is happening at all. And by the way, that's not to say Captain America Winter Soldier has nothing going on, because everything is going on in this movie. Captain America, Black Widow, Nick Fury, all three find themselves in a very, very compromising situation because, as we all know, because of that beautiful and annoying internet meme, Heil Hydra, Hydra has essentially taken over most of the governmental body. So whatever secrets you have, whatever dark pasts that follow you around, they are going to uncover it if you tick them off. You know, Hydra are a big-time organization. So that idea of having everything you thought you know being torn down in front of you and then being used against you, like used as a thing to exploit you, that is a common nightmare we all have. It may not necessarily be something that we give much thought about on a regular basis, but if you sit back and just consider these things, it is very frightening. I know for a fact that I do not want the whole sort of Big Brother from 1984 to happen, even though it's kind of happening now. It's a very frightening prospect. Just to have your freedom and, well, what you perceived as your freedom being taken away from you, that is terrifying. That is downright terrifying to anybody who's a human being. To continue, everything you've heard about this movie is true in terms of its positives. Fantastic action, great acting, wonderful story. What I love also is how the story just manages to peel back further and further, just how deep down Hydra has taken root into the human civilization. The Hydra, as you know, is like a skull with tentacles. Just imagine those tentacles just getting a hold of everything you hold dear and using it against you in, whenever it feels like it. Once again, it's a very terrifying concept, and Captain America the Winter Soldier focuses on that. Like I said, the action, phenomenal. The first battle on the tanker with Captain America and the Black Widow, I don't think I've ever seen that sort of choreography before. Well, actually, I kind of have, because I have seen both of the Raid films, but I digress. what I love about action films like this is that they commit to showing you all the good stuff. They don't use the silly shaky cam thing. They let you see every single punch and hit. They let you feel it. They make sure that you see every single moment, that you have no doubt in your mind that people are being messed up royally. So good. And of course, the titular, the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, played by Sebastian Stan, and his beautiful eyeliner. While Loki may undoubtedly be the most popular of the Marvel villains, I feel that Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, is a very close second. He doesn't speak a lot in this movie, but he's more or less there as a physical presence, and he is super imposing. When you first see the Winter Soldier in his full getup, like with the mask and everything, and you know, with his hair and like the metal arm, just, you know, all the arsenal he has on him, this guy is a walking fortress. He is a walking, impenetrable fortress, and he doesn't care who you are. If your name is on his kill list, he is going to find you and he is going to kill you. What I love about the film is that he has been built up by the Black Widow, by all the other characters, and when you finally see him in action, he lives up to it, man. His final battle with Captain America on the helicarrier is just superb, not just because of the action, but with the emotional resonance. That's another thing. Action films that have emotional, you know, impact behind every single fight scene just have that extra piece of oomph. You can make the most beautiful looking fight scene, but it would be lacking something if there wasn't any true intention behind it. And seeing Bucky and Steve go head to head in this this dangerous sort of environment that's collapsing around them, and the fact that Steve knows who Bucky is, but Bucky doesn't know who Steve is, because he has been brainwashed by Hydra. They used to be best friends, but now they're enemies. It's like they're strangers again. And you know, Steve Rogers, Captain America, is refusing to kill Bucky, but Bucky isn't holding back, and you know, Winter Soldier is like, you know, come on, kill me, you know, fight back, and Captain America is just, he's going, no, I don't want to kill you. And the movie, you know, does what you predict it does. Like, Captain America does not kill Bucky Barnes, but I think it's for the better, because we're going to have Civil War coming out very, very soon. Yay! And it's great. It's a great setup as well for what's to come. This movie isn't an origin story. It's more or less an internum for what is to come, but an internum doesn't have to be boring. And Captain America, Winter Soldier is not. Another sort of brief point on Bucky I love is that when you see him being brainwashed, he recounts his very first experience with his fight with Captain America to Robert Redford's character, Alexander Pierce. And Alexander Pierce is working with Hydra, and, you know, when he's delivering his report, the Winter Soldier is like, and, you know, he starts to talk about Captain America, and he has a look in his eyes. It's like he's almost starting to remember that he and Steve Rogers were friends. And very quickly, the bastards at Hydra decide to sort of like wipe his brain clean again. And when I say again, he has been alive for about 93 years, and he has been an operative of Hydra for about half of that. Half, if not more, or a little bit less. So this is not the first time that his brain and his identity and everything that is him has been wiped. Okay, he is a puppet. He's just a toy. He's a pawn in a chess game, and he's not a player. He's a piece. It really is a very sad scene because of Sebastian Stan's acting and how cold Robert Redford is. Sebastian Stan has the gift of having very expressive eyes, and just seeing him attempting to recall this man from his past, and you know, he's trying to verbalize, but he can't quite get it out. It is really, really sad, actually. You can see it's kind of affecting me even now because it is such a powerful sequence, and it doesn't try to, you know, pile on all the emotional resonance all at the same time. And no, it doesn't force this on you. It's a very sort of a natural and very organic scene, and that's what makes it so goddamn heartbreaking. Black Widow in this movie is great. Once again, I really love how she is engaging with the events going on around her. She's been doing this whole gig for quite some time now, so she's pretty much seen everything, but with Hydra, you know, making itself known and just like taking away everything she holds dear, she starts to question herself, and she starts to question what she has done in the past. And even though she is a top assassin and she has been trained to be cold and clinical, she is still a human being, right? She can still feel a sense of betrayal and uncertainty that, oh my god, has my life actually truly been a lie? I got to give credit to Scarlett Johansson as well as the writers and the directors to this movie. James and Anthony Russo, you guys were amazing. I have never heard of you fellas before, but just the way you directed this film and everything, this film looks like it was directed by pros, right? And this is pretty much a debut for both of these brothers. But yeah, everybody in this film is handled beautifully. And, you know, Captain America, Chris Evans, Nick Fury, Kobe Smulders as Maria Hill, Anthony Mackie as Falcon. Yeah, Bede, Barcy and myself already made our opinions known about Falcon in our podcast, so I won't go any further. Everything I have said has already been said in our podcast, but here's something I still have an issue with. I'm sorry guys, I really need to get this off my chest. The whole computer algorithm with Armin Zola, look, I recognize that it is a necessary exposition, okay? I get that. But it just felt a little bit out of place, considering that most of the film comes across as a very sort of legit spy/conspiracy thriller. To have something like that tossed in there, because if I'm not mistaken, like Zola was a Nazi scientist. This was back before the internet became a big thing and everything like that. So once again, I understand it is a necessary plot contrivance that had to be done in order to further the plot, but it still felt... No, but you know what? That's just me. But look, Captain America: Winter Soldier for me is about a 4 out of 5. A solid 4 out of 5. I think the only way that it can possibly be topped is to have the next Captain America movie to top it. And I am really looking forward to that, especially now that we know that Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, is coming back and he's starting to remember. It's gonna be awesome. See you later guys, and I shall see you again for the Guardians of the Galaxy. Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka. Bye bye now.